Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto, and here's today's Sunday Roundup. So a lot has happened over the past week, right? Not going to go too far into it, but let's start with Kraken. So Gary Gensler went up against Kraken and he said, well, we're going to go after staking and we're going to start with the small fry. We're going to beat them up, and that'll be our first foray into stopping staking, you know, in centralized exchanges in the United States. Then after that's announced, what is it? The next day, he goes on television. He starts talking about how, oh, basically saying the real exchanges, New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq, actually know how to file, this security stuff, and it's easy for them to do the registration because it's real easy. All you have to do is download a form from off the website. Wow. Then CEO of Kraken says, gee, I wish I'd have known because, I would have done that instead of paid the $30 million, which clearly demonstrates that Gensler's either lying or misleading. Every now and then I keep telling you how the regulatory environment just is not conducive to crypto business in the United States. And this is proof, right? Enforcement of regulation is cool when you have clarity around what the regulations are. Many companies have reached out to Gary Gensler and other departments in the United States regulatory community to say, hey, what are we supposed to do? How's this work? How's that work? Mind you, Kraken operating in the United States has to already jump through a lot of hoops. So they do get in touch with regulators all the time. Everything that Kraken's done has been on the record. They haven't tried to hide anything. So that means that there's lack of clarity. And I'm saying this about the past because now it is going to absolutely affect the future. However, there are larger exchanges that I believe will actually fight. I'm looking at Coinbase, which is the largest in the United States. Then you have Binance and you have others that I think will actually fight. Like they've got the money to fight the fight. Because after all of this time that staking's been around, now is when you want to enforce something that supposedly is really easy, right? I don't see how it's really easy. So I think that that's going to have a negative impact from a doing business in the United States perspective. Do I think it's going to have an impact on, let's say, crypto itself? If you look at the numbers and you get into, well, right now it's not hard, right? Right now you've got a whole bunch of crypto happenings outside of the United States. The United States does not own crypto, no matter what anybody tells you. That means you can't stop staking. Also, with Gary Gensler's move, it only affects retail, and you can't stop retail investors or people like me and you, just normal everyday people, trying to do crypto, trying to do staking in the United States. Why? Because you can do it from your own wallet. Don't need an exchange. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm looking forward to as we walk down this road. Who else is he going to attempt to go after? And I mean attempt. Then you have New York State's Department of Finance going after Paxos. Cool, but I think that's here's another regulatory body at the state level that kind of taking their cue from, the federal level that, hey, we're going to go after these companies, but we also haven't necessarily set any rules about what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do it, and put clarity behind it. So what does that do? That puts the kibosh on PayPal's plan to actually launch a new stablecoin. That I think would have been fantastic. A fintech like PayPal dropping a stablecoin. Stop there. I think that would have been great. You move on. Here's some little bit of good news, and I think it's also going to have reverberations as we move forward. More than 50% of Tether's stablecoin-backing portfolio is actually managed by a crazy Wall Street powerhouse. Want to know who it is? It's Cantor-Fitzgerald, one of 24 primary U.S. Treasury dealers, and a major player in the bond market. That's who's managing that chunk of the portfolio. I think that says that Tether's taking things pretty damn seriously. I think there's more to come. Like as of late, everybody's been talking about, USDC this and USDC that. I'm not against USDC. I like it. I'm just saying they're not the only game in town. That's what I'm saying. Now, after looking at that, another thing that's going to have an impact going forward, and I'm going to say something a little bit later. You have DCG, and I reported on this. DCG is actually going to put everything combined and sell Genesis Holdings to Gemini, basically Gemini Trust, or a team or a group led by Gemini Trust. Then we have to see, once they get their hands on it, how are they going to either make their customers or make their customers whole that participated in Genesis, the Earn program managed by Genesis, and then what they do with it later. You see what I mean? That also does not nix the problems that DCG currently has. More to pay attention to. So again, reverberations going down, right? What I really want to get into this week and pay attention to is everybody's talking about ChatGPT, OpenAI, and the rest of artificial intelligence, the whole Microsoft thing, Google thing. As it pertains to crypto, straight up, I haven't seen a single project that's actually directly involved in artificial intelligence. Full stop. Doesn't mean they don't exist. I just haven't seen them. I saw SingularityNET go up, like explode. Why? What are they doing? Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't see a use case there. From a crypto perspective, I don't see a use case. Do I see a use case for what they're doing? Basically, buy and sell, AI ideas online. What the use case I see is more along the lines of, well, if it's a company, I'd like to invest in the company, perhaps. But coin? What does the coin do? See what I mean? What does the coin do? To me, in my head, it doesn't give me a share of the company, or does it? That would kind of make it a security, right? That would be the proper definition of what it is. So I'm not trying to play with a coin. That's for a company that's not really in AI. Nah, sorry, not going to be me. I don't care how that coin does. They have to transform and then show me a use case, at least one use case, genuine use case. But if you attach AI to any project, it pops up, and I'm just like, wow. So I'm being mindful of the usability, use cases, all that stuff when it comes to different projects that I want to invest in. If I do not see a use case, I do not put my money in it. Period. End of report. Be careful of what you're putting your money into, because remember back in the day, it was all about .com this, .com that. What goes up quick can easily come down quick and be more painful. Anyway, that's the Sunday Roundup. I'm looking for better numbers this week because we took it on the chin as an industry. But guess what? The industry's basically shaking it off. Gary Gensler didn't have that much of an effect once people started realizing you can't hold us back. That's my lesson for this week. And that's what I'm going to be looking for the rest of the week. We took a little bit of a dip, but I think things are going to pick back up again. Anyway, this is Eddie J on Crypto. Have a good one. Bye-bye.